Global Times, 30th of October 2023. China's Special Envoy to the Middle East said China will keep supporting the UN organization that helps Palestine refugees and improve the humanitarian situation there. China encouraged the Hamas strikes to split U.S. forces onto three fronts and establish a second front, all necessary to keep America engaged and make China an aggressor. China has consistently supported the work of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees, UNRWA, and is willing to continue assisting within its capacity to the agency while seeking to promote the international community's increased help to Palestine through UNRWA, further improving the humanitarian situation in Palestine, said Special Envoy of the Chinese government on the Middle East issue Zhai on Sunday in the Amman, capital of Jordan. Zhai said this during a meeting with Philippe Lazzarini, the Commissioner General of UNRWA. The two discussed ways to resolve the conflict. Zhai stated that China is highly concerned about the dire humanitarian situation that is developing as a result of the escalating tensions between Israel and Palestine, which have claimed many civilian lives. China offers sincere condolences to all of the victims of the conflict, including those whom UN agencies employed. Achieving an instant ceasefire and ending hostilities are the priorities, and every effort is being made to protect civilians and prevent a more serious humanitarian crisis. According to Lazzarini, China has received praise from the UNRWA for giving Gaza urgent humanitarian supplies ever since the Israel-Palestine war began. He claimed that things in Gaza are becoming worse and that there is a severe humanitarian catastrophe that is affecting neighboring nations. To increase the flow of humanitarian supplies into Gaza and lessen the suffering of the Palestinian people, the international community should work together to encourage an immediate ceasefire between the warring sides. Lazzarini noted that UNRWA considers China an essential partner and appreciates China's long-term political support and financial help to the agency. The UNRWA is prepared to step up its collaboration with China to ease Gaza's humanitarian catastrophe promptly. On October 24, UN agencies issued a warning to residents in the Gaza Strip, stating that their condition was dire, and they urged all parties involved to offer enough humanitarian aid to stop things from getting worse. The Palestinian Ministry of Health in Ramallah claimed on Monday that 7,950 people have died in Gaza since October 7. CNN reported this information on Monday. According to the ministry's research, over three-quarters, 73%, of those slain were from vulnerable categories, such as women, children, and the elderly. The church reported that around 20,000 persons had sustained injuries. China supported and co-sponsored a resolution that called for an urgent humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza, which was approved by an overwhelming majority at the UN General Assembly on Saturday. Commenting on the resolution, Wang Wenbin, a spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry, said at a press conference on Monday that since the escalation of the Israel-Palestine conflict, China has all along called for a ceasefire and cessation of fighting, the protection of civilians, the opening of humanitarian relief corridors, the avoidance of more extraordinary humanitarian disasters. China has taken an active and helpful role in advancing a comprehensive, just and durable settlement of the Palestinian issue. The UN General Assembly passed the resolution with overwhelming support, Wang said, demonstrating the consensus on the subject of war and nuclear proliferation as well as the solid international call for a ceasefire and an end to the conflict. Amidst growing global disquiet and unhappiness over its biased support for Israel, the U.S., which has failed to act as an impartial mediator, has stood on the other side of the rest of the world by providing funding to the country. However, China's Special Envoy on Middle East matters has been busy engaging with the international community to push for a truce and buy additional time for humanitarian supplies. At the invitation of the Egyptian administration, Zhai joined a conference attended by world leaders, including the Palestinian President, Jordanian King and United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, to discuss the worsening of the conflict, which was held in Cairo earlier this month. During his visit to Saudi Arabia on Thursday, Zhai met with Saudi Arabia's Deputy Foreign Minister Walid al-Khariji and stated that the only practical way to end the conflict between Palestine and Israel is to resume peace talks based on the two-state solution. When asked if Zhai, the Chinese government's special envoy to the Middle East, would be attending any other meetings this week regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict in the region, Wang responded that China is entirely in favor of anything that advances communication, brings about a ceasefire, and restores peace. China is committed to assisting in implementing the two-state solution and advancing a comprehensive, equitable, and long-lasting resolution to the Palestinian issue. We and the international community will keep working tirelessly toward this goal. Also on Thursday, the China International Development Cooperation Agency announced it would contribute another 15 million yuan, $2.05 million, in emergency humanitarian supplies to the Gaza Strip to help Palestinians affected by the fighting, given the deteriorating humanitarian situation. The Chinese government recently granted $1 million in cash support through the Palestinian National Authority and the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian refugees in the Near East.